welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to take you through everything that is in my gym bag that you will need for a powerlifting meet, starting with equipment checks and then what I bring on meet day. We'll also touch on how my training's been going towards the end, as I am now 3 weeks out. I do want to preface this by saying that I compete in USPA, so if you're looking to compete in a different federation, there might be some slight differences. So let's go through my bag. I've had this Flag Nor Fail bag now for several years. It used to come with me to the gym, but now it just kind of lives in my garage and comes with me to the meet. So I'm going to take things out here really in no particular order. In the USPA, equipment check and weigh-ins are 24 hours, so the day before. And at this time, everything I'm going to go through is what you'll have to show them to be able to compete the following day. So first up, I have my belt. I have this lever belt from Elite FTS that I have had for several years. I can't remember off the top of my head if they made me take this off my bag or not. I want to say they did. So just be prepared to show them the whole belt at equipment check. Next up, you will need a singlet. I got this one from Iron Rebel. Back when I did my first meet, I actually had zero social media, so I didn't know anything about the brand. I just typed in powerlifting singlet, found this one that could arrive in time for my meet, and that's why I picked it. But now knowing more about the brand, I'm very happy with this selection. You will also need a t-shirt that you wear for squats and bench, and it just has to be a regular cotton t-shirt. For the last meet, I wore this Flag Nor Fail one. I just liked how the logo showed at the top of the singlet. My first meet, I just wore a random gray shirt. I probably will wear this one again for my upcoming meet. You also have to show them your sports bra and your underwear, which I'm not going to show you today. At my first meet, when I went to pull it out, the girl said, just wear underwear. At my second meet, they made me show them. So just be prepared because there are rules on the types of underwear that you can wear. Next, you will need to show them your deadlift socks. I have these ones from Iron Rebel that I purchased with my singlet, but any sock that comes up to your knee is acceptable. And then I have other socks that I will wear for squats and bench. So that's everything in this pocket. Up next, I have my wrist wraps. I've had these SBD ones for quite some time. I used to have Elite FTS because I got them with my belt, but they started to rip after quite a few years of using them, and my husband purchased me these for some holiday, I don't remember, but I've had them for a while and I really like them. He has the stiffer ones. I've tried wearing them a few times, but I like the longer ones that you can really crank around. Final thing in this pocket are my knee sleeves. I've had these SBDs for a while. I talked about them in a couple other videos about how I used to wear my husband's larges, and then I finally sized appropriately for these, so nothing special, just regular knee sleeves. Finally, you will have to show them your shoes for equipment check. So I have my deadlift shoes, which up until recently I wore these for bench, but I have been wearing my squat shoes for bench too since I started benching more with my feet down. One tip that I was glad I had learned before my first meet, or I definitely wouldn't have thought about it, was at equipment check when you're setting up your rack heights for bench and squat to wear the shoes that you will wear, because that can make a difference of where your rack height is. So go ahead and put your squat shoes on before you get under the bar to set your rack height. That way on meet day, you know everything's set for what you'll be wearing on the platform. So that's everything that you will need to show them on equipment check. I'm now going to take you through some things that probably won't fit in this bag, but that I will be bringing on meet day. So things that you'll want to bring with you on meet day. First up is baby powder. I actually didn't see too many people with baby powder at either of the meets that I went to, but ended up sharing mine. I just put this in my little rag that I apply it with in a bag, and I did put this, and I did have this in my gym bag. I didn't use it in the warm-up room just out of courtesy, and kind of did it just off to the side on the platform before I went out for deadlifts. Next up is pre-workout. I took it at the beginning of the meet and then again before deadlifts. Last meet I did take a little bit more before bench, and I think that worked out better, so I will probably do 2.5 full scoops throughout the whole meet. But make sure you have your pre-workout with you. Next up is water. Lesson learned here. For my first meet, this is what I brought with me for the entire day. And there was no water fountains. I couldn't find anywhere to fill it up. So I had gone through this pretty quickly and was wishing I had brought more water with me. So for my second meet, I brought an entire gallon plus these little electrolyte drinks that I had found at Rite Aid. I brought 2 of those. We didn't go through the whole gallon. My husband was sharing with me, but it was just nice to know that it was there and have access to this all day long. The next thing I'm going to bring, which I haven't had, is new to me. I got this for Mother's Day, is my Theragun. I like to use this. Sometimes I'll use it in the house while I'm drinking my pre-workout, kind of as a little warm-up. Sometimes I'll use it after, and sometimes I just use it at the end of the day. At my last meet, after my last squat, my back was really tight, and if I had had something like this, I would have been much happier. I've seen people have them, but this was new to me. You could also bring a foam roller if that's something that you'd like to use as well. The final thing is, if you like any kind of resistance band or special small equipment that you always use for warm-ups, bring them with you, because you can't guarantee that the venue is going to have that. One thing I brought but I didn't use was chalk. Both meets had chalk. All meets probably will, but just in case, better be safe than sorry. And I just threw some chalk in a bag to have just as a backup. So I want to end the video with a small little training recap. I'm now 3 weeks out, but we're going to go back to last weekend when I was 4 weeks out. I had coming off a deload into this final block. Bench was Saturday, nothing really to write home about. I had taken an extra rest day the week before, which was my 3rd bench day, and I feel like that kind of messed me up. By the time I got to my Saturday session, I almost felt like I didn't know how to bench. So I worked up to 3 paused singles at 167, which was what it was, but I was more happy with how 160 and 165 moved. Being able to consistently hit over 160 and kind of not be in my head about it has been huge, and I'm really hoping that 160 can be my opener. I have failed 160 on the platform, and I failed 155 twice. So to open with 160 would be absolutely huge. The shining star of last weekend was squats on Sunday. Came out here with my goal of doing 260 or 265 for 3 singles. If you saw in the previous video, I had ended my last block with a single at 265, which was the heaviest that I've hit in a year, really. So I just wanted to start off kind of conservatively. If I could hit that for multiple singles, would have been happy with that. We'll leave it to my husband to come out here and peer pressure me into at least going to 270, which would tie my best that I hit last year when I did a little mock meet. So I hit that, and I had 1 rep left. I've discussed in my last video how I use 10 sets to get to wherever I end up for the day. So that was my 9th rep, was 270, and he talked me into going to 275. If I had been here by myself, I would have been happy as pie to just stay at 265 and do some singles there. But he pushed me, and I ended up hitting a lifetime PR of 275, which just put me through the roof, because I haven't hit 270 since last year. So to hit 275 was just a great start to this last block. Deadlifts went pretty good. I ended with 325, but I was more happy with how smoothly 315 moved. That was my last opener. I haven't really decided where I think my openers will be for squats or deadlifts yet. Deadlift will be at least 315, if not 320, 325. Some other highlights throughout the week of my secondary day: I worked up to 175 on Spotos, and then did an AMRAP for 10 with the slingshot, which was a huge rep PR for me. I kind of went into it knowing that I was settling for nothing less than 10, and then I got it. And then the following day, pause beltless deadlifts. My goal had been to do 3 singles at 280, because that's where I had ended the last block. I did 280 for 4. So I thought if I could start with a few singles at 280, be totally happy with that. Of course, my husband peer pressured me again. He said, I bet you can do 300. And that's kind of been a goal of mine, is to pause 300 beltless. But I didn't really want to start the block with that, because I feel like then I might not have anywhere to go if that would be my top. But I did 280, felt pretty good. So I said, you know what, let me go to 295. I didn't want to go clear to 300, stopped at 295. It ended up doing 3 singles there, and that was definitely the best call because as my sets went on, my pauses definitely got shorter. So my first one was my best one, but that's the most I've ever pulled paused or beltless. So all in all, a big PR for my secondary deadlift day, and I'm hoping to possibly hit 300 this coming week. Now on to this weekend. Yesterday was bench day, and I worked up to 3 pause singles at 170, and I was really happy with how the pauses went, how it moved, and again, how quickly the reps that I did between 160 and 165 moved. Last week and this week I did a few sets that were like 162, 167. So I think like 7 out of my 10 sets were 160 plus. So I'm getting a lot of practice pausing that 160 plus weight range, and I'm pretty confident going into the meet that I should be able to hit this on the platform finally. I am switching some things around. One thing I noticed I feel like I'm missing is the overload work with the 2 board. Over the past few blocks, I've been slowly lowering my bench block, and last block I used the 1 board, then I was using the half board, but I really can't overload those as much as I was the 2 board, obviously. And I really do feel like I got some benefit from that. So this week I moved my slingshot work to my first bench day. So I did 170. I really wanted more than 10 since I had just done 175, but I got 10 and that was it. I took it completely. I went for 11, failed it, but I was happy with the 10. So I'm going to incorporate the 2 board bench on my Spoto day. Just as some more overload work for these last few weeks so I can get used to holding super heavy weights going into the meet. And then today was my squat and deadlift session. Squat was kind of just putting in some work. I ended up working up to 3 singles at 262. I did a set of 260 before that. I just knew I didn't have any more in me to go heavier, so I was happy with the 3 sets of 262. I added up all the volume, and even having that PR last week, today I still did, it was like 8 pounds more volume than last week, so whatever, I'll take it. And it was just more practice at that 260 plus range, which I'm hoping to finally break 260 on the platform, since that's where I ended both of my last meets, was at 260 and 261. Deadlifts went really well. I worked up to 330, and by far the fastest that 330 has ever moved. I think the 330s today moved better than 325 last week. So I did 6 singles on deadlift. I did 225, 255, 275, 300, 320, 330. So very happy with that and excited to see how these next few weeks progress. So I'll probably have one more recap video. I'll let you know how my training's been going as we go into taper week and the meet, which is September 10th. But that's it for now. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Stick around for more content from a garage gym, powerlifting mom, showing you that you don't have to be the strongest to be strong. Thanks. Bye.